built-in class that you've already, you've designed classes for your object, right? So you've got, let's say your class is called find a marker that works. You have a people class, right?
Yeah.
And your people class has got a couple of fields, right? It's got an NS string that's called the city where they live. It's got an NS number, which we'll call their age, and then it's got an NS string, which is called their name. And then, just because anything that you want to reference on a backend has to have some sort of ID so that you know about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll make another NS string, which we'll call the person ID. Right?
Yep.
So that's a pretty simple class, right? But you can make this as arbitrary as you want. You could make a dictionary that has their full address if you like.
Sure.
And basically, in order to make this object be something that can live on Kinvey,
yep,
all you need to do is basically just tell us how you want to store it.
Yeah.
So, if you make this, if you say that it implements protocol KCS persistable,
Uh-huh.
and then you define one method which is host to convey property mapping, which returns an NS dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
So you just build a dictionary that says each of these names. So, as the doc
So
say,
it returns a dictionary.
Yep.
So you could just JSON it on your side. Yeah.
Right. It's used to build the JSON that we transmit, but more than that is, so for example, let's say you're building a mobile application, mobile HTML5, right? You're using backbone.js.
Okay.
Backbone uses ID and underscore ID internally. So in order to get our special friend that you need to have in order to store and convey underscore ID, you actually have to have a funny name in Backbone. As you probably know, underscore ID is very much not a really happy name to use in Objective-C.
Yep.
Because ID is a privileged word, so underscore ID would be an internal to your class only object, and it's kind of weird to use. So,
so you don't require them to use that.
So right, in your class, you pick whatever ID you want.
Essentially, and then convey basically changes it.
Right, so you just tell us which one you want to be the ID, and then you basically give each of the things the name that you want them to be on the back end. So age on the back end is age here, right? And you just build this up for all the objects that you want to store. Let's say
so it's a property mapping, so you're mapping what's on the convey server, the convey backend store, to what's the names of the values in your object.
Exactly.
Cool.
Right.
And that's going to handle a lot of the key value coding stuff.
This is all you have to do. This object is now savable in convey.
Shit.
So
awesome.
Basically, if you have an instance of people, so I guess person's probably a better name, but
yeah, I think so.
If you had an instance of
everyone has their own conformities.
people star, let's do Brian, right?
Yeah.
You can do Brian dot age equals number with int, and then you do Brian dot city is Cambridge.
And so this automatically flies up into convey.
Well, there's one more thing. So this is just building your object,
Right.
Do that the way you would normally do it.
Absolutely.
To save me to convey, just do Brian, save to collection, and you just give me a KCS collection object, which we have a couple of convenience methods to build them.
So my immediate question was, I create a new collection on Convey, but how do I actually like add properties to it? And there was like this export or update from CVS thing, but CSV thing, but I wasn't sure what that meant. But this handles all that for us.
You don't even ever have to make a collection on Kinvey on the back end. You don't have to log into the console. If you run this on the client side, it will automatically make the collection for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's really that's great. So how do I go the other direction? How do I bring objects in from Kinvey back down onto my iOS app?
Basically, you get a collection, and so the main KCS client has a convenience method called collection from string with, I think it's called with template, and that's basically you tell it which object to use as a template.
Yeah.
So what objects you've stored in that collection, and then you give it the name of the collection, and it has a method that says fetch all with delegate.
So you can fetch all the objects under a certain collection.
Uh-huh.
And could you explain the template thing a little bit more?
So literally a template is something as simple as saying people class. So you just give it a class, and it will instantiate objects of that class for every item it pulls down from Convey.
Oh, awesome. So it's just going to give me an array of all of the objects from Convey.
Right. And then your collection class, you can add filter criteria to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just say fetch without fetch all. So fetch all gives you everything.
Yeah.
The collection fetch pulls down whatever matches your criteria.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
And so it's that easy.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely sick.
It's pretty easy. That's what our goal was.
So thanks a lot, Brian.
So, I mean, that's the point is we want to make it, you don't really want to care about thinking about your backend a lot, right?
Yeah.
You want to, you know when you need to save an object.
Sure.
You know when you want to fetch an object or fetch a collection, and you want the ability to richly pull down a subset of your objects, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, all that's the basic features.
Yeah. Pretty sweet. I can't wait to use it in my own stuff.